Me and my partner pick a bale of cotton now. Me and my partner pick a bale a day. I jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton now. Jump down, turn around, pick a bale a day.
Welcome to the Standing in This Place podcast. I'm Rachel Carter and I'm the artist behind this project, supported by National Lottery project grants through Heritage Lottery. I'm going to be telling the historic tale of the intertwining of the lives of women working in the textile mills of the industrial Midlands and the enslaved women working the cotton fields in the Americas. Welcome to today's episode of the podcast, where I'm joined by visual artist Ismail Khokon. Welcome to the podcast, Ismail.
Thank you for inviting me, Rachel.
You're welcome. So, you and I have worked together with another artist, Anisha Palmer, who we're going to hear from on the next episode. But I'd like to sort of, before we talk about the project we've been working on, sort of delve into you and your own art form and the mediums that you like. So could you give us I know it's difficult with visual content to describe it for an audio-based platform, but give it a shot. Sort of describe what your art form is.
Yeah, as you said, I'm a visual artist, but within my work, I utilize my own life experience to collaborate with others, highlighting the experience of marginalized communities and challenging their prevailing concept of multicultural Britain. So the concept of working with communities as social and as visual artists was truly influenced by my sister, who lives in Bangladesh, to be honest. And she was an actor and she's also a social worker. She was one of my boldest and rebellious ladies in my life I ever seen. So everything that I'm today is kind of inspired by her. And in terms of mediums, I use painting. Painting is something I learned from my childhood, and I always love painting. But currently, I'm very much keen about photography as well as other mediums such as like printing, as well as making sculpture and all this. But highlighting, if I want to say that what I'm currently working on is photography and painting.
Right. So, and are you combining the photographs and the painting together on the same canvas? Are they separate?
That depends on the project, to be honest. Sometimes it's purely a photographic project, which is basically land-based. Sometimes I do mixture, which is in photographic world is called photo montage. So combining different mediums and using skills of writing, typography, an example of swing, threading, decorating. So it's all kind of it's almost like a collage, but it's a lovely way to say it's like more like photo montage.
That's a really nice description. I can sort of start to picture, all the different elements that you're applying onto the canvas, whether that be in writing or stitching, photo, paint. So, and having that coming together.
That's right, and especially when you talk about writing, I had a degree in design for communication where I had to learn about typography. So typography is a really powerful tool to convey message, and especially when I ask participants to write, I try to ask them to write their own language. It can be from here, it can be from other part of the world, because the mother language is the only way you can express better.
And I like the idea of bringing in different fonts, because you're right. Different fonts can be quite powerful and bring different impressions.
100%.
So, and you have an art studio here in Nottingham where you can go and create. So where might people see some of your work? Do you exhibit within the sort of gallery systems, or is it more community based?
To be honest, it depends. To be honest, I had a gallery in primary gallery in Nottingham in Silly Road. I took it from last year, and it generally for my painting, and I try to practice there as much as I can. This is something completely my personal. I want to get lost, and I want to play with color and shape and forms. Apart from that, I mainly work for a community, so people call me socially engaged practice artist, but I truly enjoy working with others. So in terms of where you can see my work, I have current exhibition here and there, especially with you. So traveling exhibition It's going to be in Nottingham very soon, some point. And recently had an exhibition new at Exchange where I was working with the Mansfield Inanami Theatre as well as with Captivate. It has about photography exhibition. I was a lead artist and I was, I wouldn't say teaching, I was more, I was a workshop leader, also try to make everyone understand that photography is something you really don't need a big lens or high spatial camera. You can do a lot with your mobile phone. That was the goal. And it was their voice and their barriers through their eyes. The title was quite interesting. It's called Our Eyes, Our Barriers. It was 10 sessions. People really enjoyed, participants really enjoyed. It is a touring exhibition. First exhibition had in Devonham in Mansfield. Later on, it came to New York Exchange. It's already finished last Saturday, but hopefully there will be more space in future somewhere else.
So that's really good description there. That your practice, but also of your medium and how you take the community along with workshops to build their own art pieces and to give that a sense of empowerment that you don't need to have lots of technical equipment
Skills.
and skills, to produce art.
No.
And I think that's one of the things that has been very successful with working with you on this project. So we met and had coffee and sort of spoke about an idea to bring together an art piece, an installation piece. But the idea originally was to see if we could fill 300 embroidery hoops with artwork. And I remember when we first started discussing it, we were going through all the different ideas. So we came up with the plan that Anisha, yourself, and I would split that 300 and take 100 each, and then guide our participants through the processes that we love to use within our own work, but guide them through it just in that same process that you've explained so wonderfully.
No.
So what was it like to have that challenge of approaching sort of your workshop styles, but then changing it from a photo frame into an embroidery hoop?
So it's a great question. It's challenging and surprising at the same time. Through this whole project, the journey we went together, it was really, really interesting for me. I did work in different projects, but this is one of the projects I truly would like to say that for me, it was more about finding my roots and also learning in different mediums, which is truly I haven't done before, even though it's my inner soul. I always thinking I grown up with that. I seen my mom how she used to sew and decorate. Used to make katha, an example, and but working with you and the project and working with the participants truly was really remarkable in a sense. When I first started working in the Art Core Gallery 3-year project, the idea is quite broad, connecting global. Connecting global, how to say, like it's more about how to connect the diverse people through your project and connecting each other through a story was really, really, I would say that it was incredibly powerful theme, but to how to narrate them to participants who came from different needs, different thought and different background. But when I approached, they take it very seriously. And as you know, the participant was really, really keen to know more about it. What is Swadeshi movement example? What we are doing, but at the first glance, they wouldn't really visualize what is the 300 hoops will and look like, how you're gonna hang. So we kept it secret, to be honest. But it was good in a sense that they had surprise that they will be happy to see in future. But if you would tell that before, probably it will be different. So thank you for keeping this secret. When I was running workshop, every workshop was different. Some of them was completely for painting, creating background. Some of them was only for decorating, collaging, revealing different kind of techniques. Like, thank you, Anisha, for introducing me a new kind of way of imprint on canvas. And participants truly enjoyed when it was taking off this print and showing how it looked like from a picture to a canvas. It was really, really phenomenal. And to be honest, one of the biggest part was that when you might agree with me that when I was talking about Swadeshi movement, one of the lady, her name is Shudesh. Shudesh means Shu means beautiful, Desh means country. So I didn't know. I realized later on when I had a deep conversation with her, she was completely supporting me to run the workshop and totally engaged about Swadeshman because it was kind of related to her personal life. When she was in school, she used to sing a song called Urja Musafir. What this means? Wake up, travelers. Don't sleep too long. Life is too short. And do what you need to do today, not for tomorrow, because tomorrow might be changed. And the whole concept of Swadeshi movement was truly, truly powerful. And the song she sang, it was incredibly related with the project.
And I think when we're working with such a broad range of the community, you've got no idea who's going to respond to the adverts that we
No,
put out and the call outs to come and join us. So you don't know what the skill level is going to be, their age, their
no,
background, their
no.
experience, and it's quite nice when something unexpected like that
Unexpected.
happens.
Yeah.
So let's actually discuss the Swadeshi movement because you touched on it there. And so the main part of the project was to connect historic women with the cotton industry. And because the Standing in His Place project is about looking at that historical connection through cotton, the global cotton connection. But there was another story that we wanted to pick and unpick, and that was the Swadeshi movement that swept across South Asia. So I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about, or what is Swadeshi, what does it mean, and what impact did it have?
It is quite broad, to be honest. Swadeshi movement is not a movement for one particular time. It has a legacy, and it didn't happen in one day. So many, many years from 1705, I would say. I was very keen in history from my childhood, and there was a king in my country. His name is Nawab Sirajuddaulah. He was defeated by European in 1705. And later on, there was another guy, Tipu Sultan. There's a lots of movement in Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, especially in South Asia. But the Swadeshi movement was the one of the highlighted movement in our era. To be honest, the only reason is um, the word Swadeshi came from Sanskrit. What does it mean by your own country? And the movement was about to protect your own country. So the Indira Gandhi and Mahatma Gandhi came up with an idea that how we can produce our own product and make ourselves more sustainable, more financially capable, that we don't need to depend on other country. That was a simple concept. And when he moved from Kenya and he went to look for some handmade, we call it charka. It's a handmade machine where you can produce cotton and you can make your own clothes and fabrics. That was the biggest thing in whole part of Asia, but he couldn't find any single house. He had to travel a lot to find one single particular of this charka. Finally, he found one, and he said that was our glory, that was our heritage, that was our past, and this past can take us future. So he kind of came with an idea that how we can produce our own clothes, boycotting other foreign products. So, and every single corner of the country, especially even in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all was united that time. And they start producing their own product, art and culture. If you talk about economics, day-to-day life, everybody was supporting him. And at the end, everybody was successful. They produced their own product. They was happy. And we have our freedom. We have our country. And to be honest, that was a great movement, not only because of economical reason, but it made us believe that person can do something yourself. If you can believe yourself, you can go really far.
It's amazing. It's quite ahead of its time as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
We talk about cottage industries of the past, about that self-sufficiency,
Yeah.
about those regional differences in creation of different items. But that to be self-sufficient, to create your own cloth, and then, you may sell the surplus, and then that it starts that economic recovery. It's quite a powerful movement. It took place then, and it reflects very much a lot of things today.
If you look back many years back, a barter trade was a really good way of communicating, to be honest. Like everybody had to do something. Now we are now dependent on everything for like big I don't want to say, but we are dependable now. So how to be more self-independent in every way? It was really crucial, and this especially there's another part I would like to really talk about is in Southeast Asia mainly women are very ignored. I wouldn't say ignored completely, financially not capable. So this movement allowed them to make them more sustainable because mostly women was producing the cotton, and they used to stay at home looking after family. At the same time they was producing cotton, and they was making money from home. So think about that many years back, and they was fully sufficient, and they was producing for their family. How good was that? And the whole community grown together. I remember there was when I was reading, to be honest, I remember one of the girls, she probably was 9 or 11 years old. She used to go every single house, knock the door, and give them a leaflet to be part of the movement. So it was the I would say uh, every single part of the country, whole generation, from young age to old, any source of background, everyone so involved. And yes, it was a true event, and it was one of the successful event without any doubt.
Yeah, and it's fantastic to sort of to unpick those female-led stories as well, which is what some of the things that we've been focusing on within the project is to look at those unnamed women, those names that don't get remembered in history. But
Swadeshi movement, especially, to be honest. We all know about Mahatma Gandhi, but not many people know about who was the background leader. There is lots of female leader. If they read your book, there's a few names there. There's truly was involved. And without them, the movement wasn't be successful, to be honest. And they were powerful leaders. One of them was Charlotte Devi, an example. There's many of them. Today, India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan on their sacrifice.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't really know about them. You know what I mean? So it is very important to find out the history, what is the real story, and who was involved. And your project will allow them to know more.
Yeah, and I think that's as we sort of delve into these different histories and we start unpicking those stories, but we're also taking the community along that route with us, and it's amazing then to when you see the finished piece, to see all of those different facets, because I think what was really brave move for you with your participants was to not tell them that their artworks were going to go into smaller embroidery hoops, and you gave them huge pieces of canvas. So that they had these huge pieces to decorate without the knowledge that they were going to be cut into smaller sections. And I think when we saw those big canvases, they were so expressive. And was that your idea straight away, to sort of get them to be very expressive rather than being confined?
Yeah. Another thing to me, thank you for the question, is very important. I do many workshops every week, to be honest. So this is my job. So I run workshop for different projects. But one of the question always comes, I don't know how to paint. And the answer is quite universal. I said, when you was kids, will you be afraid for not to do painting? You ever did you say to your parents that you don't know how to paint? No. So when you grown up, we always think about, oh, we cannot paint, we cannot do craft and all this. So my main idea when I run any workshop, I give them full freedom, and only the full freedom comes when you give them bigger space to think. So if you give me small space, they have not much to be honest. Especially project like that, they have to be fully expressive. They bring the new ideas. With the limited space, is not ever possible. I remember one of the girl. She came in to the exhibition, and out of 300, she was looking, "What is my one?" And she was thinking that, "Oh, I did a big painting. Where it went?" And when she found this big painting, the three of her work, she was really blown away. That was the magic. How it being transferred from big canvas to smaller canvas. Obviously, you helped a lot to find out the visualization, more about how the creation will look like. But in the first place, I always try to give them a bigger canvas only because be free, be expressive, bring whatever your ideas. It's almost like creating a mood board.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lovely analogy. And
Yeah.
I think collectively, when we brought all of our hoops together, I suppose that was exactly what it was, but it was in, a 3D form. So
Yeah.
we collated the 300 hoops together and suspended them from the ceiling in this huge
Yeah.
column,
Yeah.
which it just took that simple hoop, that's something quite simple, very well known, quite
Yeah.
domestic, but
Yeah.
then en masse in this huge two-story installation, it then just suddenly it changed to being quite powerful,
And
and with all of those different artworks and all the different facets and colours and textures,
textures, yeah.
it was great.
It's great. And you did, what was really surprised that when you look at the 300 works, it doesn't feel like that is not related to each other. It feel like a piece of one book, like 300 page, and every single page has a unique story, but it really doesn't bother you, and you always want to keep what is the next pages. So it was really tremendous that all the participants from different group in different location, they was work differently, different concept, but it came together with a one direction.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's been an amazing project to work on with you, Ismail, and I've really
yeah,
enjoyed working with
me
you.
too. Yeah,
And hopefully we'll get to work again
no,
together in
definitely.
the future.
It was really nice working with you, with Anisha, Legacy Maker, all the participants, especially. It was a true project. I have seen happiness in their eyes. This is a joy as an artist to see how the participants react. So that was important for me. And I learned a lot. Still doing research about Swadeshi movement, still researching about myself. Thank you. You was almost like a mentor. So yeah, hopefully this will continue and we're gonna do something together again.
Yeah. And before we finish, so if somebody listening is interested in your work, is there somewhere an online platform that you could direct them to so that they can have a look?
Yeah, definitely. I do have a website which is under construction. I'm developing myself. So it will take a long. www.ismaildiverse.com. Alternatively, I'm very visible in Instagram. Instagram is the place where I put everything there. So it's again at Ismail Diverse.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest on the podcast, Ismail. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Rachel, for inviting me today, and hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to tune in for another episode of the Standing in This Place podcast. Thank you for listening.
Me and my partner pick a bale of cotton now. Me and my partner pick a bale a day. I jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton now. Jump down, turn around, pick a bale a day.